Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Today is February 14th, and one sec. Today we are celebrating, the world is celebrating love. This day is not just about the celebration of romantic relationships, which most people assume it is. You can celebrate the day with your friends, family, and anyone you love. To help you with the same, we have taken the topic of healthy relationships today. It will be in question and answer format. Post your queries. We will take those at the end of the presentation if time permits. Else, we will schedule it to another day. But before we dive into the topic, I'll request Sonali to do the morning prayers.
Thank you, Vamsi ji. Good morning, everyone. Today, Monday, 14th February 2022. आज की प्रार्थना ओम त्र्यंबकम यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृताम् ॐ त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृताम् ॐ त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृताम्. Thank you. Have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonali for that short and beautiful prayer. So let us go to the topic. Healthy relationships involve honesty, trust, respect, and open communication between partners, and they take effort to compromise from both people. There is no imbalance of power. Partners respect each other's independence, can make their own decisions without any fear of retribution or retaliation, and shared decisions. Let us know more from Bhaktiji, our very own expert psychologist. Over to Bhaktiji for brief intro. Then we go to question and answers.
Thank you, Vamsi. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. आज अनफॉर्चुनेटली इंडियन फेस्टिवल नहीं है और ये टॉपिक इसलिए लिया गया है क्योंकि नॉर्मली it deals with love and gratitude and happiness about having somebody in your life who supports you, loves you, and every relationship needs some kind of investment. और आज वामसी जी ने थोड़े क्वेश्चंस रेडी किए हैं, उस पे बातें करेंगे एंड बाय द एंड ऑफ द सेशन अगर आपको कोई क्वेश्चंस पूछना हो तो आप चैट बॉक्स में लिख सकते हैं एंड देन वी आर हैप्पी टू टेक इट फॉरवर्ड. वी कैन स्टार्ट वामसी जी विद द क्वेश्चंस.
First and foremost, what does a healthy relationship look like?
So for each every relationship is different. अभी ये मुझे किसी को बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. सब जो relationship है is different. Your relationship with your spouse is different. Your relationship with your lover is different. Your relationship with your parents is different. Your relationship with your children is different. And all these relationships are intimate in their own, बहुत करीबी relationships है in their own way. A healthy relationship is a relationship with both the parties, whether it's parent child, whether it's husband wife, whether it's boyfriend girlfriend, जो भी आप हैं, they should both be invested in the relationship and they should be happy with the relationship. That is a healthy relationship. It should not be एक तरफा कि एक जो आदमी है बहुत खुश है और जो दूसरा आदमी है वो adjust कर रहा है, compromise कर रहा है. So a healthy relationship is where I will never say कि लोगों को equal status होना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो कभी नहीं possible होता है. It's a ideal which never happens, but it should be a relationship where both parties are happy with the relationship.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good view of relationships. What are the pillars to build a strong relationship?
So we will talk about a spousal relationship, a marital relationship here, only as an example. सारा जो मैरिज होता है, सब लोगों की जो मैरिटल रिलेशनशिप होती है, सभी की डिफरेंट है. Mine is different from yours, and yours will be different from your brothers and your friends. And so every relationship has its own strengths, and those are the strengths that you have to hold on to. Like koi relationship mein, or the reason why we are in a relationship is also different. You know, some people get married to for financial security. Some people get married for love. Some people get married for companionship. Some people get married because, you know, I want to have a family. Mujhe bacche chahiye. Some people. So the reasons for getting married are very different, and they are all logical and all acceptable. Okay, किसी ने नहीं लिखा है कि अगर तुम एक दूसरे को प्यार नहीं करते हो तो you should not be in a relationship. But if there is respect, even if you don't love each other, but if there is respect, then that's fine. That is what is driving your relationship. So it's very important to understand कि मेरे relationship में ये क्या एक चीज है जो हम दोनों को जोड़ के रखता है, and work at that, and also of course work at other things, work at how to strengthen it, work at giving each other time. So basically there is no one rule for all relationships, but I feel, and this is not a rule, but I feel if there is mutual respect and you like each other's company, I think it's easy to build a stronger relationship. But if you lose respect for the other person and if there's no trust, then it becomes very, very difficult to build a good relationship.
So in building up the relationship better and making the good, healthy relationships, losing oneself or compromising, is it a bad thing?
I don't think compromise. I mean, it is needed. You can't go head on with each other all the time. The compromise is needed. But kaun kitna, when I started, I said kaun kitna compromise kar raha hai, that is very important. There has to be some kind of balance where you are, you know, agar one person is compromising and the other person is never compromising aur uski hi chalni hai, so that is not a relationship that is going to work. When I say work, it doesn't mean that they will break up, because like I said, people are in the relationship for different reasons, and for them those reasons are very logical. So ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई अगर sorry, एक आदमी अगर compromise करता ही रहता है तो that relationship will break, but it won't be a healthy, good relationship. It will be a traumatic relationship for both the person who's asking for the compromise and the person who's compromising. So compromise is not a bad thing. Definitely you need to compromise, but there has to be a balance in how much one is compromising.
So we have come to the most significant thing of any relationship. So gratitude, the importance of gratitude for your partner.
See, this is a very important question, because when are you grateful for anything, right? If your purpose for being in that relationship is met, then you're going to be grateful, right? Now I am in a relationship. Suppose I am married to my husband for his money, and there's nothing wrong about asking for financial security. Okay, if there is love and there's respect, If my need is met, then I am grateful. If I'm in the relationship for love, because I love my partner, then I'm grateful, right? So one, in any relationship, whether it's child and parent, whether it's brother, sister, any relationship, gratitude is very important. Gratitude for being there for each other, being a family. Just, it's so important to be able to be in a family unit. And so when you're talking about your partner specifically, it's very important to be grateful and to show that gratitude. Being grateful is one thing, but being able to show that gratitude is also very important. I am grateful for you, I appreciate you, Bhagwan ने आपको मेरे लिए भेजा है, all that I'm thinking in my mind, but are you telling the person that? Telling that or showing that is very, very important also.
Yeah. So this is another common question. Generally, we see this in our Indian families. I'm a homemaker and my services are taken for granted and are unrecognized. How can I change the situation?
There are two. I'll answer this in two parts. Now, the first part is being taken for granted. Okay. I think this being taken for granted is a very foreign concept, at least to India. Okay. Understand the level of security and the level of जो हम अपनापन बोलते हैं when you are taking somebody for granted. When you think that your father is going to help you no matter what. When you think that my mother is going to open the door when I come back from school, when I come back from work, I'm going to have a hot meal ready for me when I come back. That level of security, okay, which they call taking for granted, okay, it's extremely important in any relationship. So ye taking for granted mujhe nahi samajh aata hai, okay, because if you can't do that, like it's the most taken for granted are parents. Means the child has to know कि मैं कुछ भी कर लूंगी, मैं कुछ भी करती हूँ, my parents will always love me. That is taking for granted. What's wrong? I don't understand what is wrong with that. Number one. So this taking for granted is not I don't think it's a problem. Number two, when you lose yourself, okay, and you are not recognized for what you do, that I understand is a problem. But that is something that you have set a stage for right in the beginning. अगर बहुत ही पहले आप अपने हस्बैंड के कपड़े निकाल के दे रहे हो, बच्चों के बैग्स पैक करके दे रहे हो, आप अपने हस्बैंड के जूते पॉलिश करवा रहे हो, तो even if you have staff, you are keeping things ready for him where he never has to ask for, you are setting the stage, right? You are causing an expectation. अगर आप पहले दिन से उनको अपने खुद के कपड़े निकालने देते हो, बच्चों को पहले दिन से सिखा देते हो कि भाई आपको अपने बैग्स पैक करने हैं, you have to get up on time, then this taking for granted, not being recognized will not bother you that much, okay? And like when we said before about gratitude, if you eat one meal together, okay, and in the beginning of the meal you say thank you for the person who has provided that meal. We used to follow this when my children were younger, and I would not, if I was cooking, of course they would say thank you to me, but if not, then they would say thank you to the staff before they started eating. That was very important. Being grateful to each other is very important. So agar aap already nahi show kar rahe ho कि मैं thank you for all the work that you do, okay, then you should start doing that, because a homemaker is the most overworked and the most unrecognized individual in a household, whether it's mother, whether it's wife, So agar aap nahi kar rahe ho already, then it's important to do it. Yeah, go ahead.
I meant to unmute. It went. So here comes our next question, another tough question. How to better relationship with in-laws?
Okay. Normally, at least in my practice, Husbands very rarely have a problem with their in-laws because उनको बहुत कम जाना पड़ता है उनके पास, और या तो वो बहुत कम आते हैं अपनी बेटी के घर. अपने इंडिया में अभी भी बेटी के घर जाना is not considered a very good thing. Normally, most often, the woman has a problem with the adjusting to the in-laws. Okay. एक मिसकंसेप्शन जो है हमारे दिमाग में ये होता है कि मेरी सास मेरी माँ बने या मेरे ससुर जी जो है वो मेरे फादर बने. Now you have your own father. I'm telling this to all the women. You have your own father. Why do you want another father? Why do you want another mother? Why can't she be a mother-in-law? And why can't you have a good, this expectation that अगर मेरी माँ घर में मुझे no, she would do work for me or she would say things for me, मेरी सास को भी यही करना चाहिए. Okay, that is from the mother-in-law side. The daughter-in-law side. The mother-in-law also has her set of expectation. अगर वो आएगी तो she'll मेरा हाथ बढ़ाएगी and she will do all the work and she will help me in the work. Get a maid. Okay, get some staff to help you in the house. Right? It's very important to lower your expectations. If you lower your expectations of your relationship, then that's going to work better than have high expectations of the relationship, and also take it slow. From the very start, take it much slower. Also understand each other's space and understand each other's, especially your mother-in-law. So your mother-in-laws, father-in-laws hote hain, dono side se, they're much older than you, they are elderly, they have different needs, they have different expectations. And the thing is, I always tell people who come to me, don't sweat the small stuff. जो छोटी-छोटी बातें हैं, उसको अगर ignore कर सकें, then I think you can build a better relationship with your in-laws.
Again, one more question. How important is financial independence in a relationships?
Extremely important. Extremely important for both the woman and for the man to be financially independent. For themselves, it gives them a tremendous sense of self-worth. Okay, कि मैं अपना पैसा कमा रही हूँ, मैं अपने आप को, I'm looking after myself, I'm also looking after other people. Tremendous self-worth. Another very important reason for being financially independent is showing your children that hard work, okay, is important, that everybody needs to work, okay, and there is an amount of validation of yourself if you are financially independent. Okay, अगर बच्चे देख रहे हैं कि माँ जो है वो बाहर काम करने के लिए जाती है and she's doing well and she's financially independent and she doesn't need to ask anybody for money, this gives the children a very secure feeling. So one, it's important for the person themselves and it's very important for the children. So ये जो मुझे घर में रहना चाहिए क्योंकि मेरे बच्चे छोटे हैं, I think there's more benefit if the mother is working than there is to be with the children all the time.
So we often intrude into each other's space. So breathing space in a relationship, how important is that?
Yeah, breathing space for all relationships is very important. Very important. Just breathing space का थोड़ा clarification कर दूं. Breathing space means अगर हम साथ में रहते हैं और अपनी चीजें जो प्राइवेट जो होती है करने के लिए अगर हमको जगह या टाइम नहीं मिलता है, that becomes a problem and that becomes a problem for everybody. Now, I'll give you an example. I had recently a mother who came with her teenager son, and the son wanted to shut his room door all the time. His room door would be shut all the time. And the mother was having an issue with that. And she said, I don't know what he was doing inside and what he keeps on doing. वो हमेशा दरवाजा बंद करके रखता है. During our counseling sessions, he told me that the mother checks on him repeatedly, और वो किसी के साथ बात नहीं कर सकता है privately. Mother is also checking the phone. Mother is saying if in the bathroom for more than 5 minutes, she's knocking at the door saying kya kar rahe ho. This is very, very infringing. This happens between husband and wife also. I know husbands who are constantly calling their wives, asking them for things. This is a very stifling feeling. It's अगर आप किसी को अपनी जगह दो, और take it for yourself also. I mean, demand for it. So आप बोल सकते हो कि दिन में 1 घंटा मैं अपना रीडिंग करूंगी, मैं अपना शो देखूंगी, मैं अपना I need that space for myself, and it's very important for a relationship to grow. And so if you give each other space, your relationship will grow much better. Go out with your friends sometimes without taking your spouse. Go out with your friends. Go for a holiday with your friends without taking your spouse. There's nothing wrong in it. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप उसको betray कर रहे हो. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप उनको of course the both should agree, and both should be okay with ऐसा नहीं कि the wife is going away and the husband is very upset with that. Of course you can negotiate, but I think ये जो थोड़ी सी जगह एक दूसरे को देते हो, this is very important. This is how the person grows, and you will also grow. And a lot of relationships, the couples are growing together. They've been married for 25 years. They've spent more time with their spouse than they have spent with their parents. ये growth possible है only, and love possible है only if the people are allowed to pursue their own interests without somebody having to kind of infringe on their space.
Yeah, my teenage daughter is quite aggressive and talking back. What to do?
Aggressive का मतलब है, अगर aggressive का मतलब है वो माँ को मारती है, you cannot tolerate that. Talking back का मतलब, I would like an example. अगर talking back का मतलब है तुम तुम्हारा fruit खा लो, या अभी अपना कमरा साफ कर दो, and the child says अभी नहीं करूंगी, I will do it at my own time. This is not talking back. Okay, the child is trying to negotiate, you should also negotiate. ठीक है? Talking back का मतलब है अगर the child is जोर से बोल रही है and she is being rude and insulting, then that should not be accepted at all. There are different ways of punitive ways, different ways of kind of seeing that doesn't happen. If this is a genuine problem with somebody, you can come into the HCFI OPD and we can discuss it. But aggressiveness, where hitting and pushing, all that should not be tolerated at all. Back talking, abusing should not be tolerated at all.
Yeah, a similar type of question. I mean, my boyfriend is very possessive, and should I embrace it or worry about it? Is he very protective and overprotective? Yeah.
Possessive का और protective जो होते हैं, that means if it means that the other person, the other partner is uncomfortable, if the other partner is feeling like she doesn't need protection or she doesn't need the person to be possessive, I think break it now. Unfortunately, mostly in our country, I'm sure it happens everywhere, but हमारे यहाँ कैसा होता है कि अगर ये मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड है तो किसी कोई उसको देखेगा नहीं, वो किसी के साथ बात नहीं करेगी, वो she cannot have other friends who are boys. That is a very stifling relationship. I would run away from it as far as I can. Number one. Possessiveness, okay, is also the other person's insecurity. So agar boyfriend possessive hai, uska matlab hai he is insecure. So if you can give him a sense of security, if you can provide him a reassurance and security, maybe that would become, your situation would become much better. Number two, normally in these circumstances, it's also a control issue when people are possessive. So you don't know what the person is going to do to control you. If ever it happens, especially in a love relationship where you are still not married or you're still not, very committed. If you see this kind of a problem, handle it sooner than later, because पहले पहले तो लड़कियों को बहुत अच्छा लगता है, then it becomes a very difficult situation. So handle it sooner than later. And if you feel that this can get really bad, just run away.
So again, very difficult we ask for privileges, rights, and benefits, and they often ignore what we have to do, what are our responsibilities. So how can we differentiate, plan, etc.?
See, every relationship where, in any aspect of the relationship, every relationship is different. Your privileges, rights, and responsibility will be catered very, very to that specific relationship. For example, if it is a parent and child relationship, the privileges that the child can take the parent for granted. Again, I'm using for granted because I don't see a problem with that. I think it's an extreme sense of security that a child has, that mere maa baap are there for me completely. Okay. And so that is one of the privileges that a child has. The child has the privilege to voice his opinion. That's a privilege that the child should be given. It should always be a democratic setup, always in the house. And the last word can be with one parent or both the parents, but always an opinion should be taken. That's a privilege that should be given to a child. Okay, ask for his opinion. It's a child's right to be protected. It's a child's right to be educated. What is the child's responsibility? What are the parents' responsibility? I mean, ये बात करने की जरूरत नहीं है. There should be no abuse. Now, abuse comes in different ways. If you're ignoring the child, it's abuse. अगर आप मार रहे हो, it's abuse. अब आप गाली दे रहे हो, it's abuse. If you are, apart from जो हमारा conventional understanding of abuse है, जो sexual abuse होता है, that उससे भी और abuses होते हैं. अगर आप बच्चों को neglect करते हो, ignore करते हो, that is also abuse. अगर आप उसको humiliate करते हो, that is also abuse. अगर if you are not doing anything to promote his self-esteem, to help him become confident, okay, that is also abuse. So abuse के बहुत सारे definitions हैं, और it's a parent's responsibility here to see that the child is completely secure, and at least in your umbrella, under your umbrella, he is confident or she is confident. And then of course there are other relationships which will have their own rights and privileges.
Is it important to express love, care often? Isn't that too filmy or over the board? So how is it?
Very important. Yeah. It's very important to express love. Very, very. वो समझ रहा है मैं प्यार करती हूँ, कि वो समझती है I love, कि बच्चे समझ रहे हैं कि भाई parents love. Obviously, I'm the parent, I will love. But the thing is, it's very important to express your love. And how are you expressing that? Love. Are you ever, like हमारे Indian parents, at least in my age, okay, how often have you heard your parent, father or mother saying I love you? It was supposed to be understood, correct? And that, or how often have you said I love you to your spouse? And it's supposed to be understood. अगर मैं सुबह सुबह उनके लिए चाय बना रही हूँ, that is a उठ के नाश्ता बना रही हूँ, that is my way of expressing my love. So this is understood, and that's a thing that comes up in our conversations very often, whether we should express it. Yes, you don't need to say it all the time. You should express love. Number one, you should say it. Okay. Two, you should show it. And how your little things. अगर she's busy, थोड़ा मदद कर दीजिए. अब अगर बच्चा stressed है, उनके साथ बैठ जाइए. There are different ways of showing your love. So show the love, of course, and also express it. That is very important. And yes, you don't have to do it all the time. It's a little it loses its value if you do it like all the time, like ghante mein, every hour. If you're telling your spouse I love you, I think after some time she's going to say stop it.
That comes to the last slide. So any questions in chat box? I think there aren't any. So if this is a topic where everyone can relate, so another day we can have a question answers and keep it open to the forum. For today, yeah, we'll call it a day. Thank you, Bhakti ji.
Thank you
for
very much.
being there for any sessions, being ready for all the time for us. Thank you.